this is the learning, this is the breakthrough that you will have in this session. Otherwise, I don't see any other value add coming just with the presentation in your inbox. So make sure that you keep making notes for your reference. You're free to post all your questions. All the questions are welcome, absolutely welcome, because this is how I have come to this level, by asking the relevant questions. And believe me, every question is relevant till the time it brings clarity to you and makes sense to the someone. So this is one small little thing. If can, I don't know if some of you, I'm sure I'm in Churchgate CP study circle, so there would be people who would know who this gentleman is. Anyone who can tell me who's this character? You can just post, let's do, just to make it interactive. I'll have 2 or 3 places where I'll make it interactive. I'll ask questions. So if you can tell me who is this character? And believe me, I said, nothing that I'm gonna do today is out of syllabus. It all has an impact, all has a meaning. Quickly, people, if you can answer here. On the chat box, you can answer. So can we see the chat? No. Okay, Damania madam, Kamini madam, you have mentioned. Okay, good afternoon. Ashok ji, good afternoon. Jigar Modi, please join me 2 different, as you can see, login with. Okay, so these are some administrative stuff. Can someone please answer who all are here? Who is this character? Or if you know about this character and have you seen this character somewhere? I hope I am audible and I am visible also. Dilip ji, Parag ji, please confirm. Manish bhai, Jigar ji, I don't know.
Yes, sir, you're audible, visible.
Okay, otherwise I might just be speaking to my screen. I would not know if there are people. This is the Zoom webinar, right? Or a Zoom room?
It's a webinar.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's a great thing. So can people post here in this chat? They can chat, right?
Yes, actually.
Okay,
I think no one is aware.
Answered something.
I am also not aware about this character.
No, somebody has written Karamchand Jasus.
Karamchand Jasus nahi hai, but sir, you're on the right track.
Okay.
Come on, anyone? Yeah, this character is a very popular character and a recent one also. Movie name is Incredibles. Yes, Pranay ji. Pranay Marfatia ji. Yes, you're right.
Pranay अपना WRC का doyen, past president.
Okay, I think correct, sir. Incredible is the correct movie, but can you name the character? I'll take quick 1 more minute before I'll answer this question. Anyone wants to try? Okay, so no problem. So this character is called as oh yes, Devaki, you are right. My friend Devaki has joined here. Welcome, Devaki. Jack. Satya Gandhi, yes, you are right. Jack is the correct answer. Now, why have I used this as a model for my presentation? Have you seen this? He's the recent entry in the series of Incredibles. Now, this character brings in some amazing powers, and he's the smallest and the youngest character. I'm the youngest here, so therefore I have chosen this. Not only for that, but believe me, the powers that he has. Now, he has some powers that he can teleport himself. He can outgrow himself. He can move into different spaces. He can multiply himself. Everything that today I can do using Zoom. So in 2018, someone thought about this character. Someone thought about these powers. And believe me, today, a small virus has ensured we all get these powers. One thing that you'll have to understand here and appreciate is the power of intangibles. That's the power that you and me, all of us have today. The power of intangible, the thought process, the approach, the passion, the idea of understanding financial statements and how financial statements are being used to disguise a lot of information, a lot of unlawful activities, illegal activities, or laundering activities. Whatever you can say, and your power to multiply yourself. During in the forensic investigation, believe me, friends, these are the powers that you need to have, or you need to realize that you have these powers and how to utilize them effectively. You have to be at multiple places. As I said, not only you have to sit in the office in a cabin and understand financials, de do, ye de do, trial balance de do, vouchers de do, ye de do. No, believe me, you have to stop being an auditor. You have to be on the ground. You have to go for actual checking for third party debtors, whether these parties are still there, whether these establishments are still around, whether these shops are there, whether that address exists, and the best part, whether these vehicles are still there which have been used to show as transport of so many heavy goods. And for example, in one of the forensic that we were doing, we saw tons of steel HR coils being moved from one place to other. And when we checked on the RTO website, the vehicle number, it turned out to be a moped. It turned out to be a two-wheeler. And that too, this moped was doing every day 800 kilometers one way, coming back and again. So he did 3 trips in a day. So you can think about these people who are the entry operators, who provide this on commission based bills and all of these things. What stupid work they do. They charge us for that. They charge these companies for that. They take a commission of 1%, 2%, say LC, say BG, say whatever that they want to do, different unique sort of funding they want to use. But when they charge for 2% commission, they don't ensure that the paper work is done proper or not. And believe me, if paperworks are not done, that is where our role comes in. That is where we can evaluate our loophole. That look, here is the fraud. Here is something which these people cannot substantiate. Friends, one thing also you have to understand is anything that has lost its trail. For example, if you have generated cash through an expense, the trail is lost. How do you catch these kind of transactions? One, someone tells you, someone gives you proof that no, this is what was done. And second, you find out the supporting documents or the vouchers or the transaction itself is suspicious or questionable. Now, mere suspicion or mere questionable will not be will not do the work. You'll have to bring in hardcore evidence to tell, look, this is a fraudulent transaction. Now, there are signs which tell this. You don't need to be a god, you don't need to be law, you are a consultant, you are an investigator. You need to point out to those signs. You are no one, you are not the law. It is the code which will approve whether your principles are correct or not. But believe me, there are signs everywhere in this financial ecosystem that we operate in. There are signs, there are ways to find out each and everything that is going wrong. That is what we have to do as an investigator. Okay, moving on next. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? So I've set up the mood for discussion of investigations, and I've already told you. I'm to most of you, if you are here, it might sound a little filmy. It might sound a little Bollywood type story or whatever. But believe me, if it is sounding like that, believe me, it is like that. It is absolutely like that. And if you believe there are villains here, there are villains here. If you believe you get threat, of course you get threats. You believe there will be a huge responsibility, there will be a huge emotional drama, there will be huge of course there will be no singing of songs, there will be no love stories and XYZ, but yes, there will be a lot of emotional drama in terms of understanding the one simple thing. When a promoter will tell you, सर आपको ये लग रहा है फ्रॉड है, जैसे आप ये फ्रॉड बोलोगे हमारी फैक्ट्री बंद हो जाएगी, ये बैंक वाले आके सब बंद कर जाएंगे, सीबीआई आ जाएगी, ईओडब्ल्यू आ जाएगी, इस फैक्ट्री में 5000 एम्प्लॉय काम करते हैं, 5000 एम्प्लॉय काम करते हैं, 5000 के घर इस फैक्ट्री पे चलते हैं, हर घर में 4 मेंबर्स मिनिमम है, 20,000 लोग आपकी एक रिपोर्ट के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है, 20,000 people livelihood, their stomachs and their food is dependent on your one report, on your one stroke of pen. That is the responsibility as a forensic auditor you will have. बहुत solid emotional drama है, बहुत जबरदस्त. But all of this will come till the time you don't come to that conclusion whether you've found out and have you taken investigation in a proper manner. That is what we are going to discuss today. How do we take this investigation? And I'm going to talk about nuances of small little investigations. So we're going to do background, we're going to do why and where, approach, case studies we'll have, and the last things, some key takeaways that we'll do. At any point of time, if you feel things are not happening the way you expected, things are not happening the way you want, you can feel free to write to me. This chat option is there for all of us. You can say, Arpit, please stop here. This is not happening well, or whatever. If you feel that, please feel free to do that. More happy. As I said, all feedbacks are welcome, all questions are welcome. And if it is going well, please write that as well. Okay, do you want to know more about this? Do you want to see more about this? Do you want to hear more about this? Now coming to this forensic audit. So everywhere I have made this mistake purposefully, that this is not audit, so that I can always stress upon the fact that this is investigation, this is not audit. Okay, so forensic means suitable for use in the code of law. It is the application of, look at this words very carefully. Financial skills that we have, that we possess by virtue of our course, by virtue of our curriculum. Investigative mentality, if you are an auditor, this is inbuilt in you, investigative mentality. And if not, you have to realize it is there with you, you have to start evaluating it. To unresolved issues conducted within the context of the rules of evidence. We'll come to this line again. And as an emerging discipline encompasses, so you all know why am I saying it is emerging, because gone are the days, or I believe these are signs to come, and this not now, last 2 years, 3 years that I've been talking about, wherever I've got a chance to say and express myself, I've been saying this very convincingly, that audit as an activity is a dying activity and would over a period of time evolve, if not wipe off, but it will evolve. It will evolve to ensure we are more dynamic. All we are doing is a vulture kind of an act, that after the remains, we are talking about postmortems, and everything is over and we're talking about it. This is what has happened in the year. Believe me, now is the time. With technology in our stride, we can now report month on month. We can now report quarterly, real-time reporting. The LRs that was happening for only limited companies, believe me, it's happening for every company now. It can happen, and somewhere there is a ecosystem which is driving the dynamic change of companies and of these entities to maintain their books of account on a monthly basis, regular basis. That is what is happening here, and I'll tell you about that. I'll give you an example about it, and the entire profession is witnessing this change. I don't know if it has come to you or not, but it is absolutely undergoing a remarkable change. Forensic auditing includes use of accounting, auditing, and investigative skills to assist in legal matters. That is one line. If I were to tell you what is this investigation all about, believe me, it all has to do with legal. If you think it is just you reporting and finishing, no, there is 80% of actions remaining later on as well. Whatever you've done is just 20% of the work. The remaining 80% will come now, wherein courts would come, agencies would come. There will be a lot of exchange of information, request of information, your statement, an entire legal long process. Yes, that happens in forensic everywhere. Forensic audit can be conducted in order to prosecute party for fraud, embezzlement, other financial claim. These are the uses, and all of this. But let me come and now coming to the most important part. This is why I've kept it right up front. Is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I think a huge round of applause for our activities, for our members here. I'm also part of this group. We have thought before we could have adopted standard practices from anyone else, before we could have adopted some standards of other bodies, we have come out with our own standards. This will standardize this entire practice. So these are some of the ones that are already outside. They are available on the ICI domain, on the ICI DAB portal. DAB is the Digital Accounting Assurance Board. On that portal, you can go and download these. They are available for your comments if you have any. Believe me, I've worked on most of these. I've been part of the core committee of most of these, and there has been a immense sharing of knowledge, immense brainstorming, thought process behind drafting these standards. And believe me, the standards will set a big benchmark for our profession in this country. This is something that we should all look up to. This is something we should all grab and understand and start delivering before it becomes compulsory. It is going to become compulsory. It is going to become the next guiding principle for our profession. Believe me. because investigation is what everyone would now seek. Gone are the days where you just can go away with by saying true and fair view. Now there are real time monitoring, which is telling you whether this is correct or not, yes or no. Forget about true and fair. Forget about materiality. Forget about everything. Each and every rupee is being accounted for everywhere. So these are the audits. This is the what I've been telling you so far, true and fair, and whether fraud has been in books or not, whether there has been indiscipline, whether there has been this or that, XYZ. So these are the basic differences between other audits and forensic investigation. Uh, the best part, see the third point. Whenever we do an audit, any other audit, it is for a period. In forensic, it is never for a specified period. Of course, a period is specified to you by a stakeholder, by anyone who's giving you this engagement. But believe me, Section 66 of IBC, whenever you find anything fraudulent, whenever you find anything fraud, anything that has colors or nature of being fraud, you can open up and you can go back to as many number of years you want. And that is the law. That is the empowering thing that you have as a professional. So if someone comes and tell you, look boss, this is your scope, you stay within this boundary, you can always go and tell them, check section 66 of IBC, and of course that applies here. Because the best part is the forensic audit, the forensic investigations, forensic accounting is never arising out of an act. And I'll show you what kind of acts do we have to refer to when we have to do these kind of works, these kind of assignments. Dilipji and Jigarji and Paragji, you can please tell me if I'm going correct and making interesting. If at all you feel it's dull, just let me know so that
In my opinion, it is one of the most interesting lecture you are giving. Please continue. Really, I'm enjoying it thoroughly, and I hope that all the members are enjoying.
I really hope so.
Yes.
No, please. What you are talking is everything is practical. Nothing is theoretical. Please continue.
Okay.
Yes.
Feedback check. That is the best thing that as a professional we should keep taking feedback, keep taking criticism in your stride.
મારી
Go ahead in a
મીટિંગ
correct
ઝૂમ ચાલે છે હું
Otherwise
તમને
it's
પછી
not
કરીશ
go-
એટલે મેં તમને મેસેજ મોકલ્યો તો પણ ધ્યાન ભરાઈ ગયું અથવા કાલે હા કાંઈ વાંધો કાલે સવારે પછી કરીશ તો પછી ઓકે પ્લીઝ
Dilip bhai,
સોરી
mute sir. Thank you.
my mistake.
Okay, so then now comes here the fourth point, verification of stock, estimation, realizable value of assets. Now this is, as I said, the power of intangible. Now, if at all you find, I'll show you a case study. If at all you find an intangible in a balance sheet, you should start thinking, how does an intangible comes into the picture? Usually, if it is a goodwill, it's a balance, it's a difference debit balance. And if it is a capital reserve, it is a credit balance. Usually, but we are not talking about capital reserve, we are talking about goodwill, we are talking about something which has been, say, software, something intangible that is there in the balance sheet. Most of the balance sheets where fraud is being perpetrated, you'll find 2 or 3 things. One is investments, second is WIP, capital WIP, and third, intangible software, something or the other that is being built into. Now that is the best and the safest thing, wherein statutory audit, concurrent audit, I don't know, whoever comes into the picture will not mind कि okay जब तक आप बता रहे हो, जब तक management representation दे रहा है, we are okay. But that is where your role as a forensic investigator will come into play कि अगर उतना पैसा उसमें डाला है, what is the outcome and where is it? Is it still in the air? If it is in the air, you are very rightly you have to then find out what is the end use of that money. Where is that money credited? Where is that money transferred? See if there has a nexus between these kind of assets. So now, one mistake that you can do as an investigator and one crime that you will do as a forensic investigator is rely on an expert. So as I said, everything that you've studied in audit, everything that you've been doing for so long, you'll have to stop doing. As I said, this pandemic, this virus has told us how to be a jack and how to understand, unlearn, relearn, continue learning, and then deliver. So you have to independently verify each and everything, and that is possible. Believe me, that is absolutely possible. It's being done. It is being happening. It's all about thinking that it is possible and you will be able to do it. We have been told that there is limitation. Absolutely, there is no limitation. When you start doing it, you will realize that. And there is, believe me, there is technology, There is a lot of resources available which can ensure all of these things are done in a very, very constructive and a very, in a model that you can always present as an evidence. Off balance sheet items and all of this, we'll talk about it again. This is a basic thing that I've told you. No substantive compliance, sample based, no materiality, no test check or something, everything 100%. Yeah. Now, as I said, various statutes that will apply while you do a forensic investigation. Now, these are the statutes. I don't want to go into this. This is for you to maybe take a glimpse of it. Maybe I can take a full 2-hour session just on this slide, but I'm not going into these details. But you can quickly take a snapshot of it. See, again, don't rely or don't wait that you will get this presentation in your inbox. You are using technology. You have your own resources. Keep marking it. Take a screenshot quickly. Be tech savvy. Move on to the next level. Don't stay dependent on whether Dilipji will send you this presentation or not. It may not come, but you are smart enough. Take this as it when it comes, and you never know. You are dealing with, say, an IPC section 25, or you're dealing with SEBI. Believe me, just last when we did a banking conclave in WRC, just one day before, NSE, National Stock Exchange, has also started now doling out forensic investigations, and it has reached out to some chartered accountant firms to tell them, like, look, these are the brokers, we want you to investigate them. Believe me, every stakeholder, there's one word in every board meeting of the stakeholders: let's get investigation done, let's get forensic. The forensic is a very, very, I will not say household, but I'll say it is a very, very frequently used word in the boards now. Every regulator, they'll rely on, let's do a forensic here. Forget about concurrent audit, forget about internal audits, forget about special audit, transaction audit. Get a forensic done. That is the importance of this code. That is the importance of this entire area of practice, forensic. And believe me, as I said in the third slide, we are the best ones suited to grab this and start working on this. Yes, you have to test your limits. You have to challenge yourself. Come out of that mold, and therefore I said young and seniors will have to come together now, because as I told you, one of the case study, one glass manufacturing company, when we were given the balance sheet of this company, we couldn't find out anything. Well, what is wrong in this balance sheet? What is that? We've put in every analysis, we've done everything. Believe me, it just took maybe 20-25 minutes. And I sat with my father. He's a senior chartered accountant, of course. I'm a second generation. I sat with my father, and we were just breaking our heads. He just came from a hearing, and then was talking to us what is happening in office in a casual manner. We told him, sir, ye hai, can you look at what is this? I don't know. He said, show me. Within 20 minutes, he unlocked that balance sheet for us and gave us one of the observations that we are now concluding. There's absolutely nothing. There was so smart engineering done. Believe me, engineering is the word I'm using. We are actually financial engineers, and a lot of us have done a lot of engineering. Believe me, to unlock these engineering, you need another engineer. Now, to become an engineer, you need that experience. Otherwise, we are all freshers. Until unless you have experience. So this is the time when young CAs will have to come, so that they can test, they can help you beat those challenges, they can help you beat these boundaries of limitations, go and deliver, go and work on the ground, and then that report drafting and then presentation and drafting becomes very, again, important skill set. I'm going to talk about it also next. Now, here are the next slide. Here are some glimpses of frauds that I'm talking about. Now, believe me, friends, many of you could come and ask me, sir, how can I be a forensic investigator? What can I do? How can I do forensic? We need that first break and that, vicious circle, anda ya murgi, kya pehle aaya? So, आप कहीं भी forensic accountant के लिए जाओगे, बोलेंगे आपका experience क्या है? और experience के लिए आपको कोई project देगा नहीं. So, how do we do that? How do we break this? To those people, I have been addressing them, and so after so many, when my introduction, Manishji mentioned that I've done so many trainings and hearing. Believe me, most of these questions that you may just come into, I would have the answers to them. To answer this question, I will tell you, whatever engagement that you're doing, wherever that you are equipped, if you're doing an internal audit, if you're doing a concurrent audit, if you're doing a stat audit, there lies an opportunity for you to do a forensic investigation. I would just take a quick minute of my presentation and talk to you about. So since being a regional council member, I move around so many places, and thanks to forensics, we worked with the name any promoter group, name any group that we have associated with one of the leading forensic agencies that we are. We've dealt with so many people. I've seen one thing common. For every promoter, there is a lawyer who is the most dear. There is someone who really holds the fort for these promoters, but never a chartered accountant. Chartered accountant is usually second, third, fourth level. कि अरे यार ये आया ये प्रॉब्लम है चलो उनको दे दो वो करवा लेंगे उनसे देख लो ये कर देंगे. Why is it so? As a statutory auditor, you know everything in and out. As an internal auditor, you would know much more than a statutory auditor. But believe me, because we've not been able to value add to these people, what a lawyer does is, if in crisis, he is the one who protects the financials, the individual image, the family, ring fences the entire scope of this promoter or whoever who's running the show. We otherwise as a chartered accountant we always talk about sir TDS नहीं भरा, GST नहीं भरा, sir penalty, sir interest, sir ये return, sir वो audit, this audit, that audit. नहीं चालू करो गर्म हो अच्छा 10 minutes. Why is it? If at all you are an internal auditor, if you are at all a statutory auditor, why don't you spend some time, really find out what is happening in this company and go and sit with the promoter and tell him, look boss, this is what I found, this is happening in your company. Believe me, with almost 400 forensics that we have wound up in the last 3 years, my experience is there are only two kinds of companies in this country. In India, there are only two kinds of companies. And believe me, you must be auditors of so many companies and I'm interacting with you. We don't do much statutory audits. We are not into these audits and all this. At least I'm not. My firm would be doing some or the other, but I'm saying, according to me, there are only two kind of companies in this country. One, where the promoters know there is fraud happening in the company and they are aware about it. And second, they don't know frauds are happening in the company or someone is doing those fraudulent practices. There is no other third option. Some or the other illegal, unlawful activity is going on in the company. That is why it is a company. Believe me, I will be happy if I'm proved wrong by any of you, but I'm telling you, there lies an opportunity for each one of you. Why are we not supposed to be close to these promoters? Why don't we do a value add just like a lawyer can do for them? Why don't we draft well? Why don't we vet? Why don't we look at and advise them on a very strategic level? Because see, the financials are in your hands. You understand each and everything that is happening. And I'm telling you, believe me, there are some, and during this journey, I have met some people who have left their civil services profession and come back as a chartered accountant just to help promoters in their communication, in their drafting, in their answers to agencies, so that is the big profession. This is a big practice which is coming up. And who is doing that? Someone who's experienced. Believe me, who stops us from having this experience? When we can go and talk and stand up in a tribunal and argue a case, when we can understand those fine nuances of bureaucracy, and when we can understand the laws so well, why can't we go to that next level and understand, look, personal purchase ho rakhi hai, ghost employees hai, skimming tax, or any of these parts, you can do as a concurrent auditor, as an internal auditor, statutory auditor, you can do and find it out. But yes, all you need is time and that motivation to do that. Believe me, this one slide has made a lot of importance to so many young chartered accountants or so many other ones that I've been interacting with. Believe me, they've come back and told me, sir, हमारी जो 6 महीने 8 महीने फीस नहीं आती थी ना, it has come within a week. But you need to just find out this, you need to report on these things. Tell them what is happening wrong in their company. Go and sit them with a piece of paper and say that, look, these are the line items, these are the things. Don't talk about compliance, penalties, and all of these things. Let your staff do it, let your team do it, but you as a signatory or as a partner of a firm, go and talk about something on these aspects. Go and talk about succession planning. Go and talk about what is happening, gonna happen next. Go and talk about ring fencing. Go and talk about what are the threats that he faces as a director for an action by one of his one of his employee or a super employee or someone who he trusts blindly. Believe me, all of these things are happening, and there I can give you n number of examples where we have seen infighting between two directors, two partners, two promoters, and therefore things have been gone for a toss. I'm not saying you should talk about negativity, but I'm saying why not prepare yourself? Why not make yourself relevant for the board of the company by giving them some inputs on these lines? One, your fees would be increased outright. Second, you may become very close and dear to these people because you're doing something value add. At least you are finding out something and giving them. And third, and the most relevant is that's ultimate satisfaction that you'll get. And this you'll put yourself into the league of forensic investigator. Most of them who have asked me that where do we get the first break of forensic, I told them your private limited companies, your other companies, you take the first engagement of private. My first engagement as a forensic investigator started from a place where I was after leaving my big four. I for 6 months I did nothing just to sit and research on some aspects that I wanted to in my personal life. And when I started working for a small advertisement company, believe me, the CFO challenged me and he ridiculed me by saying, तुम क्या क्वेश्चन पूछते हो यार, तुम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, मतलब यू सीनियर चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, वो ही ऑलवेज, तुम नए चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट को आता क्या है यार, करते क्या हो तुम लोग, बताओ इसमें कुछ, इसमें कुछ, इसमें कुछ. And one question I asked him is, because it was an advertisement company, event management company, I always asked, sir, how do you know the payment that you're doing for manpower is really a correct payment? How do you ensure, I mean as a policy, how do you ensure कि these many number of man hours जो list आती है एक एजेंसी की कि these people are there on that ground, on that activation, जो जैसे कैडबरी ने आया तो टेस्ट कराते हैं, सैम्पलिंग कराते हैं, ओट्स का, ये सब का, how do you ensure that is happening and you are making payment accordingly? Don't you think so? There's a huge gap. इधर तुमको क्या आता है, सिर्फ क्वेश्चन पूछते हो, कुछ करके बताओ. Believe me, that ridicule made me a forensic investigator. Because I went to the ground everywhere there were these events happening as a company authorized person with an iCard. I used to go and check and take photographs, take snapshot, take evidence, everything, and I have proved and saved almost over 80 lakh rupees in a year. 80 lakhs, you can imagine. Of course the turnover was huge. It is one of the India's biggest event management company, advertising company, where I was working as and I was elevated there as a virtual CFO as he became a board of director. That was our first assignment as a forensic investigator. All of you can do that. Yeah. So this is what I wanted to give you nuances about. I mean, no theories that I want to talk about, because all of this is there in the books. Everywhere you can find out. But something that you really want to start off your career into, this is the way you should do. Okay, types of fraud. So these are the types of frauds, but the graph looks okay, good. The table looks good. You can skimming, cash clearancy. So these are maybe out of our experiences that we have. There are forgery, forged signatures, amendments to article of association. If all of these are happening, these are signs that something is wrong, something is missing there. So you pick up these things and then you evaluate and come to a conclusion. I'll show you how. But what is important is the below thing. One of the most important aspect of forensic investigation is this: instructions issued by RBI using the power under section 35. So the master directions on fraud, classification and reporting by commercial banks dated 1st July 16. You should all be reading this and start using this in your audits, normal audits also. Believe me, as I said, I give you all those higher fees, quick receivables. No more that I will find out. In fact, not only here, tier 2, tier 3, where we go as a WRC member, as a regional council, where we have to go and represent and talk and interact with members. They have told us, sir, the moment you started, you have told us this, and we have oriented our audits on these lines. Believe me, it's a magical thing when a member comes and tell you, sir, आपकी वजह से हमारी fees जल्दी मिलने लगी है हमको. अदरवाइज नहीं तो पहले एक स्टैंडर्ड स्टेटमेंट होता था, हमारे तो सर आप बॉम्बे से हो, हमारे तो इधर सर 8-10 महीने तक फीस नहीं आती है. इनफैक्ट बॉम्बे में भी ऐसा होता है. आई एम सेइंग गॉन आर दोस डेज. अभी आप, दिस इज हाउ यू गेट एम्पावर्ड, दिस इज हाउ यू फील स्ट्रांग अबाउट डूइंग व्हाट यू वांट टू डू. This is the power, as someone mentioned, power of our signature is more than a power of PM. But I'm saying one stroke of our pen in a report can make a huge impact on lives of not one but 20,000 people. That is the impact that we have. Keep that in mind. Fraud risk prone area. Again, this is an extension to the corporate frauds that I've told you. This is a good slide that you should always have in mind, or maybe share with your team कि यार जब भी आप audit करो, look at these kind of experiences and maybe organize some training sessions for your employees, for your articles, for your CAs who are in your firm. They may not be looking at this, but there's a lot of around these. You can build up a training session. You can get good faculties, good speakers. You can yourself become a Dilip Jani. I'm telling you, all of you. So not only you can become an Arpit Kabra, but I'm saying you can also become a Dilip Jani. Arrange something for your people, because chartered accountants would come. People who are knowing, you should know them, reach out to them, network, do fellowship, get them to train these people. These are the areas that you should start looking into audits. You as a partner should get reports on these lines, and this is what you should share with your promoters, understand with them. Look, these are the areas that we, now there are, as I said, there are two kind of companies. If there is one, he will tell you, अरे छोड़ो सर, इसको फाड़ो, जाने दो, आपकी फीस कितनी है, बोलो कितना है, आपका क्या है, करवा दो. और सेकंड, क्या बात करो सर, ये let me give you one more engagement, let me give you this, let me do, I don't know what is internal audit doing, what is CFO doing, what is that, what is this. Let's get to the deep of this. Believe me, your body language, interview skills, your interactions will give you a lot of answers. We know all of that. Our experience says all of that. Okay, these are the so I'm now coming towards forensics in banks and why NPA and all, because largely this is the biggest chunk of forensic investigation that we as a chartered accountant can do. There are other aspects as well, but I'm not dwelling into this because they are more academic purpose. This is for more practical purpose. So diversion, siphoning of banks, willful non-payment, non-effective due diligence of borrowers, influence to banking employees for sanctioning, non-effective banking management. Everything, these are largely the issues that you will find whenever there is an NP or a bank fraud. And what are the other, on the other side, when a promoter, so an ambitious individual who has a lot of idea and he comes with nothing to lose attitude, has a lot of connects, you see him har jagah, he can call up, he can reach out to people, understand, and make an impression. He has a lot of advisors, or maybe one or two strong advisors, has a vision, can get easy funds, arrange money, instant projects. In fact, I'll tell you how did we come to this blue point money, easy funds, instant projects. Is we were doing one project here in Raipur, somewhere 300 kilometers away from Raipur, in a Naxalite infected area again. There we saw almost 6,000 crore funds were disbursed from banks, and furthermore it went into restructuring. So they took a haircut of almost 3,200 crore, and again there was a 600 to 800 crore worth of NCDs being parked in. And you wondering, what is this? How is this possible? Abhi haircut le rahe hain, and still they get people who can invest so much. When we started digging deep, we found into some entities were there. So there were some private equity players, but apart from that, there were a huge chunk of entities who invested. Now, when we went into the root of these entities and we started digging into these entities, directors, their profiles, where all they belong, we all came to a place. I don't want to name the place, but it's offshore, and it is hugely popular for prostitution money, drug cartel, and extortion rackets and all of this. These names were apparently in the newspapers. These people were already highlighted who were the directors or who were related to the directors in the domain check we could do. So therefore, one of the biggest these funds flow very easily. Wherever you find a lot of easy funds, instant projects being built up, and then still there's a UN cry about unavailability of funds and therefore going to the banks. There's a big red flag. That is what you should look at, and somewhere or the other you'll find these are maybe funding from some Naxalite areas or from terrorism, or some of the other elements do come in. and that is where you can invoke a Nationality Act or various other things, anti-terrorism and all of that. But believe me, it's as a chartered accountant, it's our moral responsibility if we could find out some of these projects and try and raise red flag, if not in your name, but at least send some feelers into the ecosystem where it can get captured very easily. You know, it's a very simple thing to do, very easy thing to do, that can be done by each one of us. Twitter to ek hai, but there are so many other ways that can be done. Relatives, कर लो दुनिया में struggling ecosystem, greedy professionals. You know, this is the worst part, because just for small little quick money, the worst part is the commission income that professionals start earning. हर चीज में anything that you have to do, okay, आपका इतना commission हो गया है, ले लो, because that is easy money. All you need to do is fellowship, network, interact, get two people, get two minds. That is where there's a huge pit, because the once you start doing this, you get a knack of doing this again and again, and you then you lose the idea of what are you doing in reality. Most of the fundings that have been done based on these commission basis, you know, they have done anything everything to make sure the papers are all right as per the bankers and get away with the funds. But believe me, karma is bad, karma is a bitch. It comes around and it hits you, and it is hitting so many of them this time, and it is happening. Believe me, I know it personally. I've seen so many chartered accountants, so many other professionals, MBAs and fake professionals who have done so much of commission income, who have earned so much of funding income. They are all now being subject to a lot of mental stress from agencies and whatnot. All right, now time for some activity. If you all may feel good about it, this is an just to see one of the basic skills of investigation is observation. If you can observe anything unusual in this photograph, please please put your comments into the chat. So there are some various things which are not correct in this photograph. I would invite you all to investigate, show us your observation skills, and see whether you can find out for yourself. Okay, we've got the chats already rolling. Paras bhai, absolutely, horns on tiger's head. You're right. The first point is very right. You cannot have horns on tiger head. Perfect. Great observation, Paras bhai. Anyone else? I hope Nazin is there. There were so many of all here are there. If come on, you should find out. These Dilip bhai, yes, you're right. Tower of Pisa is straight. Interesting. So you have followed the tiger and below it. Correct. Come on, more. Anyone more? There's so many of these mistakes in this photograph. There are two very camouflaged mistakes. If any of them do that, Rita ji, you have raised your hand. Please answer no. Guitar is not proper. Jigar bhai, क्या proper नहीं है guitar में बताओ? So you have written guitar. What is guitar?
No, it's not for guitar. Hello.
Oh, wait. Rita ji has answered. Bharat bhai has answered. Chessboard has 7 rows. Fantastic, Bharat bhai. Fantastic. What an observation. Really. Rita madam, hats off. Window is opening inside. Something that really wouldn't have. Dilip bhai, please a Cadbury from Rita from me to Rita madam. I'll give you back. So whoever Rita madam is, I think. So there are two, as I said, two mistakes that I have told you that are very difficult to find out. So one of them was this window, which Rita madam has found out. Rita madam, you are very close to one other observation. See there closely if you can find out any observation, but you have to relate to some other things so that you can come to an observation. This is a very important exercise for a forensic investigation, I'll tell you, because you have to relate some things, something that are apparent as tiger horns, leaning tower of Pisa, the guitar, which has a head of a sitar, you know, all of that. Lakshmi Narayan ji has mentioned no king in chess. Sir, वो पता नहीं गिर विर गया होगा, but that is not an observation as such, but मतलब बहुत सारे नहीं है उसमें figures, so but not really no king in chess. I hope all of you can see the photograph. Huh? You cannot see the. Are you also seeing a chat window in the between? So should I close that chat? Prachiti, madam, Prachiti, yes, you're right. Tiger on the wall has horns, but that was covered. Manish bhai, fall ceiling has boxes. वो तो डिजाइन है मनीष भाई, बट आई लाइक दैट मनीष त्रिवेदी, आई लाइक दैट यू हैव गॉन टू दैट एक्सटेंट टू एटलीस्ट you know, this is the best part, you know, how you should as a leader. I'm successful if I were to make you question each and every aspect of a engagement, which is the best thing to do. So I've oriented you all. Butterfly caged, oh very good, Paras bhai, fantastic. Butterfly caged मतलब उसमें actually ऐसा है कि it is an aquarium but it has butterflies in the aquarium, so very nice, very good observation. It's not a cage, but yeah, it's an aquarium but it has butterflies. दिलीप जी, clocks do not have a second, वो तो चलता है ना, clocks तो आजकल नहीं होता है. Mehul bhai, yes, you are right, dog's tail is different, it is a striped dog's tail, which is an error. You're right, perfect. Where is Rita? Rita मैडम, और एक ऑब्जर्वेशन चाहिए था आपसे, यू आर वेरी क्लोज. एंड दिलीप जी, कुछ तो देखो उसमें आपको मिलेगा ऑब्जर्वेशन. और दिलीप कपाड़िया, one more chocolate is yet to be taken. मनीष भाई, scissor and comb, समझा नहीं उसका. scissor on table नहीं, there is no problem there. पारस भाई, scissor on table, हाँ, तो what is wrong in that? So you are saying fork है, वो comb नहीं है, fork है मनीष भाई, the scissor and fork. So you are saying it is unusual to have scissor and fork together. It could be spoon and a fork. Okay, fine. Given that, I am just imagining someone really trying to zoom in the screen कि कुछ दिख जाए. If you're doing it, that's great. Caesar has both right thumb. Not that. Parag, perfect. Book on the table says pocket stationery, pocket dictionary, yes. But it cannot be a pocket dictionary. No, it is so big. Very nice, Parag bhai. Parag Javeri.
अर्पित, आपको भी नहीं मालूम होगा, ऐसे सब मिलेगा अभी आपको.
हाँ, that is the best part. No, see, chartered accountants के साथ when you deal, that is the limit. That is the challenge.
Yes.
You know, things are always interesting when you're dealing with chartered accountants because you always get a new insight. And the worst part is so many people are there. There are only few people who are doing this. I got a very good observation. Wait, I missed it. Prachiti madam, sunrise sunset at 1 o'clock. Fantastic. Rita madam, I was expecting this from you, but Prachiti has identified that. You can see sunrise or sunset, whatever, but it is at 1 o'clock. How is that possible? Brilliant. Prachiti madam, brilliant. Oh, look at this. CA Nikesh ji wearing muffler in May month. वो तो गमछा जैसा हो सकता है, मतलब मफलर तो, बट ठीक है, ओके फाइन, वी कैन टेक इट. बट द बेस्ट पार्ट इज यू ऑब्जर्व्ड मे मंथ एंड देन यू आर ऑब्जर्विंग दिस. इंटरेस्टिंग, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. संजय जी, गुड मॉर्निंग. लायन हैज गॉट हॉर्न्स, वो टाइगर है और वो सबसे पहले पॉइंट हो चुका है. Sanjay ji has just joined us, it seems. I'm still waiting for that one more thing, then I can close or else I can move ahead. Pillows on sofa, one is different from rest three. Perfect. Cushions. The cushions are different. Two are polka dot, three are polka dots, one is stripes, which is different. Yes. Oh, very good, Pranay. Bhai. Boys wearing half sleeves as well as full sleeves. You're right. वो फोल्ड नहीं है, वो स्लीव ही हाफ है. You're right. Very nice observation. So many of them are over, पर वो एक और बाकी है. Brilliant, Dilip bhai. Really hats off. What a audience we've got today. Amazing.
I'm proud of my members.
Yes, sir. Sir, even I am now.
Thank you very much.
And the best part is they followed me. It looks like in the presentation that I'm, and it's making sense because one of the most important part of a chartered accountant as a leader of an audit or an investigation is how he appraises or how he updates or how he communicates with his team so that to ensure that the team comes out with observations and with reporting. So Chaitanya Dalal sir, Chaitanya Dalal sir, sir, are you, if I'm not wrong, one of the windows opening outside, one is opening. Sir, you're right. I hope Chaitanya sir, you are, if you are there, whom I'm thinking, Dalal sir, the forensic expert, one who has triggered off forensics in India. If you are the one, sir. No. Okay, sir. Okay. Chetan Dalal. So I thought Chaitanya Dalal कहीं ऐसे mistake तो नहीं है. Fine, Chaitanya bhai. You're right. Rita madam also done that. Something wrong. Pranay ji, something wrong with the guitar. That's done already. Yes, you're right. Chair in photo, legs are different. अरे जिगर भाई क्या बोला वापस बोलो आप प्लीज. एंड आपने प्राइवेटली कर रिप्लाई टू ऑल.
Actually, I didn't know I'm privately replying you.
क्या
I
बोल रहे
think the
हो?
chair in one leg has some stand and one is wheel. I can see like that something.
अरे वेरी क्लोज यार, वेरी क्लोज. चलो लेट मी मूव एंड नाउ. वो नहीं तो वो एक चॉकलेट रह गई. डॉग इज स्लीपिंग ऑन. मनीष भाई डॉग तो सोएगा ना, चलेगा ना. डॉग इज स्लीपिंग ऑन काउच. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? ऐसा मत करो. फॉरेंसिक की थोड़ा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी लो. ये प्रैक्टिकल है, ये सब चलने तो थोड़ा तो चलता है. Okay, these are the ones. Maybe you can all find out. The eighth one is the most critical one.
Actually, that photo we can't see clearly. So I thought there was something, but I was not able to find out what is it.
इसलिए जिगर भाई told you were very close.
Yeah,
So there he is wearing a shoe in one leg and the other is a chappal. If you can see, वो जूतियां जो बोलते हैं हम लोग,
yeah.
गुजराती जो ड्रेस
That-
में होता है. एंड
Okay.
ये चप्पल है. ये जो होता है उसको एक बड़ी कैडबरी थी और जिसने 7 नंबर मेरे को बोला रीटा मैडम को एक छोटी कैडबरी. छोटी नहीं मतलब कैडबरी. दिलीप भाई प्लीज.
तो मुझे 5 वाली दी थी, मैं क्लोज पहुंच गया था.
Consolation, right. Oh yes, superb. Thank you everyone. I mean, really, I'm very happy the way you've participated. I think that for me it's a very good feedback that you all are there, you are enjoying, and you are feeling it good, and with so many inputs. I think interesting, and this scissor wala I'll also check. Both are right thumb hole. ये तो मेरे को भी समझना पड़ेगा. I think it's a very interesting insight that you have given. All should get Cadbury's as well. Pranay ji has asked Cadbury's. Okay, done. Dilip sir, all should get Cadbury. Fine.
Yes.
Perfect.
When Pranay bhai said, I have to obey it.
Perfect, sir. From my end, sir. Okay, now coming to steps in forensic. So that was it. That was your check, your test of observation skills. Believe me, one of the most important part of a forensic is observations. I'll give you one small example, personal example of this observation is, as a forensic investigator, I was appointed by one of the agencies, and I was told to investigate. And we did all the findings, we did everything. We were looking at banking, looking at this, but the promoters were very arrogant. Very means very arrogant. So one fine day, we had to go for a kickoff meeting. We have to meet the promoters to understand what all and ensure that he supports us and he provides us all the data. The most critical part is the emails. The we do an imaging of the entire hard disk so that we can find out anything wrong. We can do a lot of analysis and all of this, hash check and all of that. So what happened was when we went there, this guy was so arrogant. He was determined to teach us a lesson in terms of ki, who are you to investigate me? And I look pretty young also, so he thought that कोई senior आया नहीं बच्चा है, we'll treat him. So I was made to sit at his reception. मतलब he had a very royal, good office, everything. But I was me and one of my colleague, she was with me. We usually go in pairs so that at least we have one or the other also, so that one could take care of the other and ensure that the direction is. Usually there is a lot of aggression, there is a lot of friction, there's a lot of fireworks that can happen when as a forensic investigator you're going, because everyone knows what are you up to, and you could be prejudicial, you could have anything, because they don't know exactly what is your frame of mind. So as a professional, we have to always exercise this caution. So therefore you always keep, especially females, therefore play a very important role in interview techniques, and also to calm down situations where there could be problem. So whenever in different situations, because they are the ones, I believe they can manage people very effectively. Our mothers and wives are the best examples, and this lockdown has proved that yet again. So therefore my salute and my pranam to all the ladies and females who are here listening to me, or maybe anywhere. You've done a remarkable job, phenomenal job. I've seen the way you have handled offices, the way you've handled homes, and the way you handle the entire society as large. So great work, and believe me, there cannot be a better manager than any female person. And if you are not, it is just about time that you start exploring your hidden skills. They are there inherent in you. Now coming to the point that we were sitting and we were made to sit for more than 3 hours. But what happened was, then we went inside and we met the person, and as expected, he was arrogant and he really didn't give us time and he asked us to shoo away. And then we waited, we looked around here and there, what is the, so observations all were happening, and I just waited for some more time so that the office gets closed, as it was 7 8, so people will start moving. The receptionist, we were waiting at the reception, so I observed something that the receptionist was doing something different in between. So I just waited, I wanted to check what she was doing. So once she went off, there usually office boys jo rehte raat ko, they were in the office. They were sitting in the reception and everyone was moving out. We came and I just told him, where's the washroom? And I excused myself, went to the washroom, came back. I told him, अरे यार, I think मेरा pen रह गया इधर, can you just check? वो तो पूरा दिन भर था नहीं ऑफिस में, so he just said कि I don't know sir, क्या है, देख लेता हूँ मैं. And he knew we are forensic, because these people are not, they don't know much. So he said out of good faith he was looking, yes, okay. So he opened, just below the table there was a tray. He opened up and I saw what is there in the tray. There were some stamps. I said okay, but I'm saying, sir, I think मेरे को लगता है नीचे वाले drawer में रख दिया था. So there were 3 rack drawers. I wanted to see what is there in the drawer. He opened the drawer, and drawer mein, so in under the pretext of seeing what is there in the drawer, is my pen there, I started searching and I saw a stamp was of a different company. So while I was sitting at the reception, I was seeing that for some of the papers, the receptionist, she was picking stamps from the just below drawer, and for some of them she was picking from a drawer, maybe a third drawer or fourth drawer. I wanted to see what was that. Believe me, the moment I saw, that was the biggest observation, because this company, this stamp that this company is putting, it's not nowhere in the ecosystem. It's not reported. as a related party, a connected or a controlled party. I just wanted to see that, and the one thing that I gave an input to my staff was start looking at transactions which are with this company, because if they are with this company, they are absolutely fake transactions. They would have nothing. Believe me, it was so well doctored. The address was different, the directors were different, everything was different. It felt as if really there was a company, but it is just a paper, a cloud company. And every transaction that was done with this company was all accommodative transactions, rotation of funds, rotation of bills. All we had to do was keep that on the table, and that promoter was furious as how dare did you even claim this as a related party or a connected party, and how did you even find out सारे papers बराबर है, सब कुछ बराबर है. But believe me, we had to just sniff around. This observation helped us close the entire report in a very different manner, which earlier we could have not have any observation. So I think observations therefore play a very important role wherever you are. Believe me, there is some purpose that you are there for. So these are the ones. Initialization, you develop a plan. Believe me, forensic investigations are not straightforward. They are dynamic. They could change every now and then. They would have different dynamics everywhere. So you obtain relevant observations. You do an evidence testing and investigation. Always, every time that you do, you have to test it for as an evidence. If you get an employee saying you something, you have to ensure that words cannot be put in as a report or as an evidence, because he will not testify. Most of the times he will not testify. You'll have to find out some documents that would prove on these lines. So that evidence testing has to be done regularly. Then the most critical part is the reporting. How do you report? How effectively do you write? Use of words, use of language, and you need a good guidance and a good support in reporting. Perform the analysis, and then finally legal court proceedings. Oh, sorry, I went the other way around. Obtain relevant observations, perform analysis, then report, evidence testing, investigation, and then legal court proceedings. This is the entire flow chart that has to go. And believe me, why have I kept legal there? And there is an entire infinite universe below it. I've not ended it there. That's because this could go anywhere. In case of Anil Ambani, you would see Reliance mein that there was a stay from a court saying that don't classify this as fraud or NPA. Now that has been lifted and has been, once that is done, not a single company which were written off as a fraud in that entity are now being transferred or are now being classified as fraud, NPA, and all of that. So a lot of things happen. Legal court and proceedings are all dynamics. So, now coming to this forensic audits, what do you really do into forensic investigation? What do you do? How do you do? How do you go ahead? So the first part is the preliminary analysis. As I said, it's like a movie. So for a movie, you have to first, you are a casting director, you have to start finding out what are the characters in your movie. Who all are the people who are playing roles in this story of fraud or no fraud or whatever. Best part is to always go with the mindset that there is fraud until unless proved otherwise. So that is the best thing to do. Preliminary analysis, then you go with the bank statement analysis, then you go with the financial statement analysis, and then comes the unique differentiator, market intelligence and background check. Believe me, as a chartered accountant, we are blessed in this domain, market intelligence and background check. Anywhere you are stuck, anywhere that you are facing difficulties, your fellowship, your networking skills can come to a big help. Because if anything that has to do with financials, if anything that has to do with a company or a partnership or a proprietorship, there would be a chartered accountant involved. And if there is someone who has been removed as an auditor earlier, he is your best friend. Or he or the other, if someone has unpaid dues from that firm, from that promoter, if his fees are not settled, nothing best than that. Believe me, we have completed 9 forensic investigations of proprietorship firms. I'm talking about companies, भूल जाओ, partnership firms भी they are very bad because कोई public domain information नहीं है. Proprietorship तो एकदम ही, जो उसके नाम भी कैसे, KYC भी कैसे, बैंक में क्या क्या अकाउंट खुलते हैं मालूम भी नहीं पड़ता है. मतलब AKN कंपनी तो हर कोई खोल देगा, पान वाला भी होगा, कोई दवाई वाला भी होगा, कोई दारू वाला भी होगा, कुछ भी हो सकता है. एक एन कंपनी कुछ भी हो सकता है. तो प्रोप्राइटरशिप यू चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हो ना हो मालूम नहीं, कंपनी हो ना हो, बॉटलिंग प्लांट हो ना हो, ऑयल हो ना हो, एनीथिंग could happen in proprietorship. I'm telling you that is the worst part. There we've completed 9 such audits with the help of chartered accountants and at a very tier 3 city of Gujarat. Not gonna name because you might all be connected. I don't know, and you might be also attending. But I have sworn confidentiality because that is what the trust in chartered accountants that we have with each other. But I'm telling you that is the importance, that is the power, and the power can come only when you first exercise and make efforts to identify who all it can be. Anywhere in India, believe me, today we have a power. Anywhere we are stuck in India, all we need to do is reach out to the nearest branch or any council or any member, and they will connect you to someone who will at least give you a stay, food, and everything, ensure that you are fine. We, on a forensic audit, we were supposed to go to Shillong in Nagaland. Believe me, it was we felt as if we are in a foreign territory and so hostile that we could have been kidnapped, abducted, or we could have been killed overnight. Never know. But except for one chartered accountant, the VP who's been elected now, Devashish Mitra sir, we reached out to him. He connected us to immediately because he's from the Northeast. He immediately connected us to one chartered accountant there, and he personally called them to see this team flies off from that place very safely, come to Calcutta, and then go to Mumbai or wherever they want to go back. If not for him, I'm sure I would not have been taking this presentation with you. So believe me, you should know the correct set of people. You should know whom to reach out to. It's just like now तो अभी SSP हो गया, but अगर इंस्टीट्यूट में कुछ काम रहता है तो you should know whom to reach out to. Of course, that those times are now over because technology is coming in, SSP is coming in. But I'm telling you again, our skill set would lie as a partner, as a owner, as a deliverable head. Is we should know how to and whom to approach for a correct set of work. If done, your work is done. Otherwise, you will keep struggling. So these are the wins, and what are the typical outcomes of our review is I've noted it down. But there could, so our first three, and then the fourth one is there could be absolute genuine losses. See, it is business. There are dynamics involved, and the very nature of businesses, it could have profit, it could have losses. There's no guarantee that you'll always have profit. But yes, the propriety element, not proprietor, propriety element is the most important part of a business. If you find that test correct, you should go ahead with reporting it as a genuine loss and not any diversion of or not of the other ones, and then conclude accordingly. Now I've just detailed all of this. I think we have more half an hour to go. I don't know if I could get an extension, but I would try and finish things quickly here. And these are something that you can read wherever inputs required. I will tell you, but these are initial steps, characters of the story. As I said, what are the characters of the story? You have to first profile the entire company, the directors, find out the tree, family tree, this, that, everything. This will lead you to the identification of key individuals and companies. So who all are playing that important role? Lot of exercise has to be done in setting up this background, because wherever you will find these characters, wherever you will find a trail of these people doing something or the other, maybe in emails, maybe in whatever, that is where you will be able to unlock the next. It's like a treasure hunt. You'll unlock the next level, next level, next level, and you keep traveling. So these are the ways you do it. I mean, it's written, it's pretty clear, so there's not much that I want to read across. This is a small little example, case study of how to identify the key set of people. So these are parents, and I mean, there's a case study here, but I'll just take some time, so I'm not putting much time as I have to. Just half an hour left, a lot of stuff to cover. But there's brother, sister-in-law, brother two, and wives, nephews. So these are people in. So I've written also director in one, promoter in company one, director. The way you have to identify and you have to find out. So we were dealing with something here in this, and this lady who was the main culprit. We couldn't find out. And then we figured out that she is a daughter-in-law, and she's married to this, and therefore they are therefore connected. So brother one, daughter-in-law, nephew are connected, and this is the borrower, promoter company one. So we could identify a lot of stuff there. So this would help. as I said, take notes for reference. Keep making notes. Keep writing things down in investigation. If it is in mind, it is gone. It will evaporate. Otherwise, it will not stay. Now, one of the most important aspect, and where you will require technology, where you will require smart chartered accountants, where you will require young CAs to do it, is this. One, someone who's good in Excel, someone who's good in data mining, someone who's good in other technologies also, who can use macros very effectively. So, for example, when we are working for a company which is say a 2,000 crore turnover company, and has taken a loan of around 500 or 1,000 crore or whatever, uh, they would have a lot of bank statement, lot of line items. So they would have multiple bank statements, multiple borrowings. So all of these, they would have different facilities. So for example, CC account, OD account, term loan. So all of their bank statements, all of these have to be merged. All of these has to be integrated into one file. All of this has to be tested for fund flow. All of this has to be tested for trail of money, and then effectively utilization of funds. Is it coming back? Is it not coming back? Day wise, and there are a lot of web analysis that you need to do. Now for that you need to. So I'm saying, look at the second box here, data analytics. So I'm saying, say for example, in one of the cases we were looking at 16 banks who would have funded. So 16 banks every month. So 12 months for 4 years we were doing, so 48 statements, monthly statements of 16 banks. We had to integrate and do an analysis. You can imagine most of the computers will fail if you're not using an i7 or you're not using a MacBook. I think you would just collapse this huge set of file. And there are various tools now, of course, that are available that you could start working on. But so that all, maybe you will have a lot of. So WRC, for example, I have ensured not only forensic, but we do a lot of under this entire year, the leadership of Lalit Bhai, we have ensured that we do a lot of sessions on Excel, Power BI, data mining, data analytics. We've come out with a publication also. So all of this is there. All you need to do is just be aware and capture these and start learning these. Of course, these all contents are now also in WIRC library, YouTube. You should subscribe to WIRC channel on YouTube, and you'll get alerts of what kind of programs are now uploaded. So if at all anything is interesting, just spend some time, hear that out. Because one thing will lead to other to another, and probably that is where you will find out a complete learning curve for you. So this is what you do: conduct background check on identified beneficiaries. One of the most important exercises that you should do as a bank statement analysis is find out those some key entries, some material amounts, some big amounts of transfers which you feel suspicious. And you will usually find breakup of one big amount into 4 or 5, and then one entry coming in which is almost near to that amount. You have to see who's the end beneficiary. Suppose these are NEFT or RTGS transactions. So you have to find out which account is that hitting, and with that account you will find out which bank it was. Which bank, say you will get KYC, say you will get to know which party was that, and that is where you will see in terms of where did the actual money go, and if money has again come back from the same party, right? That circular round tripping of funds and everything, LC transactions, LC discounting, all of this can be figured out very effectively. This and banking domain will help you in that. No one else but banking will help you in that. Yeah. Garam Nira. This is the bank statement analysis, a small little example. So we recently were looking at this target company that we were investigating. The disbursement was of 95.97 crores on 8th May. Immediately on 8th May, 95.5 crores were gone. Now they were gone, papers were there, agreements were there, everything was there. But what will prove that this is fishy? What will prove? So you have to find out those red flags, where it went, what happened, what not. And then when you start looking into this entity, you will find out it was just incorporated here with a 1 lakh. Now 8 lakh capital, paid up capital वाली company को 95 crore क्यों देगा कोई? An established company, why would it do? Who are the directors? Registered address? All of this, so this is how you come to ourselves. So the ones that I have reported are my red flags, and therefore based on these red flags, I will give an observation that, sir, we feel this money is absolutely diverted, and they're being taken out of the system systematically under the garb of a EPC contract or any other contract. and it's not going to come back. If there is receivable, if there is loans in advance, both of them are doubtful recovery, and that has been the case because 8 years down the line, still that money has not come back. So I think so that's how it is. Now these are financial statement analysis. This is one of the very powerful slides that I prepared. This is largely an experience being captured in this slide. I would request all of you to please use this not only in for forensic investigation, but also for every investigations that you are part of, or you get you get an engagement, or you are engaged into for any audits. This will help you do a great work in terms of auditing. So for revenue and debtors, you classify this revenue and debtors, and you plot these aspects properly. I mean, you can take time to read out, but a lot of analysis will come once you start plotting these things in a very objective manner, and probably you can see a mapping, or you can see some indication also, which can apparently tell you that there is something untoward, unfavorable, unlikely, something unusual. For example, right now we are doing a company. It's a Delhi-based big company. It was largely dealing into cylinder, gas balls. It's a listed entity, and it was dealing into these kind of products: steel, cylinder, steel balls, and everything. One fine after a particular period of time, I don't know how, but they started doing a lot of trading activities. We found out whom they are doing trading activities with. So we got to know that trading activities were being done with uh, sorry. We realized that what are these people trading into, because ये तो manufacture करके सब बेच रहे हैं. What is trading? So we found out trading into steel, scrap, and other products of steel. We were worried, how can they start doing trading? मतलब ये parties जो हैं, they are into this domain. This Then we started digging into those vouchers, and this all were fake, all were rotation, all were this. And entire money was being diverted to a real estate company, which Supreme Court has already given a verdict on in Delhi, one of the biggest company of Amrapali Silicon, and we are doing some work there also in that project of identifying them as fraud, and auditors have been appointed. What not is being going on? Believe me, these are some signs. When you start looking at revenue and debtors, you'll realize suddenly there's a big JV, big trade receivable that you had from one company is now converted into investment in land. Barter हो रहा है, what not. People do a lot of engineering, believe me. That is why I use the word engineering, not because I am from science field, but I'm telling you, these are purely engineering. How bridges are being made. Engineers make their bridges, right? These people build what not in finance, in accounts. Simple tally to hai, JV मार दिया. That is where our role lies. Now, any statutory auditor or any internal auditor could have found out this, uh, could have reported this to the management. Now, the promoters were not aware that all of this is happening, all of this is being done. They were just looking at how to handle the banking mess. And in the meantime, someone from maybe from an influential company requested, look, I'll give you some LC transactions. Bank se baat ho gaya hai. Let's rotate funds so that even you are saved this, that, whatnot. All gone for a toss. So 3 years they enjoyed. They deferred their financial end, but right now they are in absolute soup. So that is how these things can help you out. Top 10 parties and check their credentials. Really, are they trading, or really are they working? Then same way with purchases and creditors. So you plot these top 10 vendors and see if they are related or connected to the debtors, or these parties, or same parties purchase sales. These are some signs which I'm sure when we talk about, we all understand this, but when we really work, we don't do this. So this is one slide that you should always keep handy, or make it as a part of your audit exercise, or whoever that is going. You should give one कि यार ये सब तो check कर लो, tick the box कर लो. Although we have so many checklists, but apparently when you train people is when you can get these things out. Related party. One thing very important that I wanted to highlight was, stop talking about related parties anymore. Section 29A of IBC is now the next governing principle on related parties, which has now expanded the definition to connected parties. Connected parties is the definition that you should really look up to now everywhere, and it will tell you a lot of things about the culture of the company and the promoters and how much can you trust on them. Because what is happening is connected parties is a very wide definition, and related party to theek hai, any controlled entity also comes into the purview. That is where you need to really check whether are these transactions really at arm's length or not. Yeah, so keep that in mind. Of course, you don't have to report it, but I'm saying you can at least identify it and then ensure that your fees are paid well in advance if you start reporting them. Because there's so many cases that we find that statutory auditors have not reported these transactions in a related party, and the answer that they have is we have taken management representation that this party. Now, one of the worst cases of Big Four is involved, where in one of the cases, in 1 year they have reported them as a related party. Next year they have removed them as a related party, wherein there is almost around 600 to 800 crore of infusion through them or transactions with them. And the reason they have given is we have got a management representation saying that they are not connected related party and they don't fall in the definition. How idiotic and how absurd is that, So, yeah, really, it makes us think what really is the spirit of our reporting. But, ठीक है, uh, as I said, karma is a bitch. It always comes back. It is coming back. So cash and bank reconciliation, large cash payments, large cash transaction, all of this. So this is something that you should keep in mind. Again, it's just a snapshot. There could be so many more, as as we did in the observation exercise. You could give us so many more insights. So not that I'm the authority here or I'm ending it here, but it is more of an inclusive definition, not an exhaustive one. This is where I said I love this place. I love this slide a lot. Public domain research and investigation. You see this competitors, vendors, customers, industries, products, markets. See, that is where you become intelligent. Now, whenever most of the chartered accountants, if we interact with, if we ask them about a share price, they would be so good. They would be history. They would know everywhere. ये दिन में इतना चढ़ा था, यहाँ पर ये price था, यहाँ पर ये हो गया, वो हो गया. I'm saying that kind of passion, that kind of knowledge, if you develop in this network, plus that's it. That is what you have to do. If you're so good with stock, if you go so good with market prices, if you're so good with the movement of these companies, you can be a fantastic resource when it comes to public domain research and investigation. So these are some. So discrete. Look at the green box below. How to gather information on business operations of target companies. So you have to find out that one such employee, one such one, and बहुत सारे websites पे हैं, Facebook पे हैं, Google पे हैं. In fact, one of the places that we got sorted, one of the reports that we got sorted is based on Facebook. This company had some operations in Thailand, and that person, who was the person who we got to know works for this company, had on his Facebook marked have joined this company, started working in this company as a director or something, marketing supervisor, whatever, and the company name was selected as the one that we were investigating here in India. These people said no, he is a part of another vendor company, and he is, so that is where we got to know that these both are same companies, and that is a proof. One snapshot, and now I don't need that person to testify, but I'm saying this person from 3 years cannot do one same mistake. No, if he has marked, so for example, if you're working in a company, you will not just for the sake of Facebook, you will say, I'm working for an MNC. If you're not working in MNC, you're not working in MNC. If you're a vendor to an MNC, you will write that, right? Or you will not claim it. So all those exigencies are there. Of course, in the court of law, it got reversed and all of that. But I'm saying people started building a lot of things based on this one observation, the check-in that we do. And believe me, Facebook is something. In fact, for recently we are doing one case for EOW, where what has happened is someone on Facebook had posted a profile pic, had played a game on Facebook. There are so many small little apps, no, so many games. What are your top 7 attributes? What are your 5 things that you've done in your life? And what are the various things that you've done in your life. Now, this person would have played a game, and someone in India commented on that profile. What did one fraudster from India? What they did was they took a US number, which is a bogus number. They made a WhatsApp profile. They downloaded this image from Facebook, which is very easy to get, and they started chatting with this person. They got number from of this person from again from Facebook. They started researching. They talked about his family, everything, and eventually in the conversation they got to know they both are related. And he asked, I need some money in India. I need to transfer some funds. I'm from US. They found out Florida, this, that, and immediately asked for 30 lakh rupees. Believe me, this fool in India, because he was a relative, he transferred those 30 lakhs. Where it transferred, whom it transferred, it all went. Uh, this case was when it went to UW, they filed it, they got us involved. We just figured out. So we told them this is from a place called Bastar in Chhattisgarh. Then we found out the SBI account where it got transferred, all of this, and quietly we got their police involved and they nabbed that person. Uh, that person was in simple Gamcha Banya. You can sing एकदम rural village. They're just using a modem, what do you call a dongle, any number, internet, phone, what not. Where it is the technology, what expect this technology is advancing. He's an ex KPO from Delhi. He's moved to his village and is just earning money like this. Now look at what all level are we exposed. So that is the beauty of this entire stuff that we do.
RPG, if you don't mind, our chairman has joined. So
Yes.
can you post for a while so that we will have an opportunity to listen to him?
Absolutely.
Please.
Welcome,
Lalitji, please.
Yeah, Dilip bhai.
Yeah.
welcome, Chairman sir.
Yes. Please
Yeah,
start
Arpit.
your video. Yes. Thank you very much. Really, we are obliged. Thank you.
Yeah, Dilip bhai, instead, I would be obliged for really giving me this opportunity to interact with the members of Churchgate CP Study Circle. Jigar bhai and all of you are doing very wonderful job.
Thank you.
And when I see Arpit on the board speaking on forensic audit, I think so you have a best combination of the subject and expert delivering.
Yes.
And I believe that post today's session, all the members of Churchgate CP Study Circle will really be abreast about the real nuances as far as forensic audit is concerned.
I have done forensic audit to find out who is the best speaker for forensic audit.
So I understand that I am taking some of your time in between the.
No, please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead. We want to listen to you about what is happening at the WRC.
Yeah, please bear.
Please.
And as far as what is happening at WRC, I am 101% sure, and I believe that all your members might be going through the newsletter and through WRC website, and they might be aware about various happenings. There are 2-3 things whereby I feel that if I just speak on, members will really be enlightened. When we talk about publications, believe me, there are many publications on WRC website which have been published this time. And all those publications are available freely on WRC website. And let me share with you that each and every publication is so well thought of and so well conceptualized that I can very well tell you that it will be of immense help to the members at large. Like say, for example, we have come out with a publication, we have announced it, we have launched it a day before on Sunday, which is checklist for audit of cooperative sector. I think so this is the sole publication of ICI or resource on this particular area whereby you can get some material. And I feel that this will be of immense help. If we talk about key audit matters, you have a key audit matters compilation along with the search engine. If you talk about accounting policies largely followed by industries, we have come out with the anthology with the search engine. to understand as to which are the generally accepted accounting policies which are followed by various industries. Likewise, industry specific publications. So I would just urge upon all of you, please take maximum benefit of this efforts put in by our expert chartered accountants who have contributed largely for these publications. One more thing, you will find tools on WRC website. There are around 10 tools. If we talk about NRI status of an SSE, if we talk about various requirements related to GST registrations, if we talk about ratio analysis, if we talk about tax audit compliances, all these tools are available on WRC website and those are readily available to be used. I believe you might be going through that, but I would again request that if you are not gone through that, please go through those and use it at your practicing unit so that we can provide best of the best services to our clients. You might be aware about the research forum which we have started. The day before yesterday, we had a meeting of research forum whereby around 15 researchers have presented their papers for around 2 hours. And let me tell you, it has went so well, and WRC will be coming out with a compilation of those research papers and that will be available for all the members. I would request the study circle members that if anyone is interested to participate or contribute in research activity, please write to wrc@ici.in, or you can directly talk to me at any point of time, because I will be more than fortunate to ensure that you are on the board as a researcher. When we talk about mentorship initiative, we have started with mentorship assistance program at WRC to ensure that the ample resources available with seniors can be channelized for the benefit of the youngsters who are coming and who are blooming and who are looking for growth in profession. Seniors and experts are listing themselves as mentors and youngsters are listing themselves as mentees. There are two options, either to work as an executive assistant with the mentor for 6 months or to get periodical guidance either once in 15 days from the mentor. So this is one more initiative whereby members can really take benefit or can contribute to the larger genre of younger members. Lot many things have happened, whether it is about awareness, education on ethics. There are monthly audio video on ethics. The article published by ICI in the journal, we have come out with the audio visual on the same of say 2-3 minutes every month. You will find those on WIRC website, and that will be of immense help to understand the various provisions as far as various ethical practices are concerned. There are a lot many things which we have done this year. I would just urge upon the study circle and the members here that some of the inputs which we have got during this period of time while interacting with dignitaries at various levels, we have entered into industry specific interaction meet. And one common input I would just like to share with all of you, whereby I feel that it will help all of us to really ensure the growth of our profession. Members who are working with industry and who are really interested to employ chartered accountants either in the department or in the company, their input was that when it comes to deliverables expected by the company and the deliverables given by the chartered accountants, there are some gap. And what we as an institute or what we as chartered accountants can do to ensure that the deliverables can be matched so that we don't have to opt for other professionals. I think so ICI, WIRC are doing a lot to update about various changes or various provisions, various laws affecting our profession. We all have to engage into developing sufficient skill sets so that we can provide best of the best services to the company, to our clients. And in this line, I would really be serious to give a thought on this as to what all we have done in the last couple of years, whereby what are the changes we have seen in our personality. We were 2 years back and we are as on date, and we have to seriously plan as to what are we as on date and what are we looking for ourselves 1 year down the line. This will really help us to understand where do we have to focus as to understanding various things. This was one of the things. Second thing which I feel I should speak to you was that while deliberating with principal CCIT CBDT member Gupta ji, the common input which we have received is that as chartered accountant we have to improve our writing skills, because when it comes to technicals we are very much strong, but when it comes to writing skills somewhere or the other there is some scope of improvement. And when we talk about faceless assessment, I think so writing skills and the submissions which we make will largely be relied on deciding the fate of the particular SSC. So that brings a huge responsibility on us. And I think so study circle and the members can really engage into ensuring that we can develop ourselves as to we can give the best of the best input to the department on behalf of the SSC. So these were a couple of the suggestions which I thought I should share with you. Otherwise, study circle is doing wonderfully well. Members are participating wonderfully well. Members have really contributed and supported all the activities of WIRC this year so wonderfully that we have really cherished all the activities as WIRC, and I will really be grateful from bottom of my heart to each one of you for supporting us at WIRC. I would look upon for more and more interaction in near future as and when I get an opportunity, and I will be really humbled to meet you personally or interact with you virtually. Thank you Dilip Bhai for giving me this opportunity, and thank you members for patiently hearing me. I look forward for more and more suggestions and more inputs from all of you so that we at WIRC can really ensure that we can develop the best of the best practices for the benefit of all of us. With this, I once again thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lalitji. And we also look forward to meet you in person at St. Xavier's College. Thank you very much for finding a time for us in spite of your very busy schedule. Thank you very much. And yes, and all the best. All the best.
Dilip bhai, I think one thing that I would want to add and say, given the challenges that we had in the pandemic and
Yes.
given the uncertainty that we looked at, despite those times, those testing times, Lalit bhai has ensured that WIRC has done excellent work and a marvelous work. I think huge round of applause for the chairman, because under his leadership we've done excellently well. And it is time that he's stepping down from this chair, but I believe me, let me tell you, he has made sure that he has made a significant impact of his functioning in this WIRC in a manner befitting to a chairman. So I think great work done, Lalit bhai, and really it's a wonderful feeling to see a very well tenure end. But of course, there's a disappointment that we are not able to meet in person and give you a good farewell. But yes, I think the entire year we have done virtual, so the farewell would also be virtual. So
farewell is carried forward to the next year.
I think there'll be a huge response back to get you and see you in a higher position very soon.
Yes, we look forward to it, and it will be an honor to the institute. Okay, Lalitji, all the best, and thank you for addressing us. God bless you.
So Dilip bhai, I think it's 6 o'clock and we've got a very befitting end to our seminar. One thing I would want for the members to do is...
No, you finish it off, because everybody's enjoying. I'm getting messages that this is something they were knowing something about forensic audit, but they were not knowing exactly what it is. So you have to really, everybody is looking for please finish it off. Give a finishing touch.
Sure. I'll do that.
Please.
Thing that I would recommend very strongly to all the members is do these 2 courses on DLH. DLH is the Digital Learning Hub that we have. It's a wonderful library that the ICI has created. And believe me, this again is a blessing of the lockdown of the pandemic, because we were all confined to our homes, no physical meets, no traveling, and look at the creative minds when they get to do without any disturbances. If they start working, this is what comes out. Digital Learning Hub is one of those creation of ICI, I think we all should be proud of, and we should really figure out these are wonderful courses. There is one, this is a free course, Forensic Accounting and Fraud Detection. It is not the FAFD thing, but it is a course which is freely available on DLH. You should go through this course. You will find a really lot of value add. And the RBI circular that I talked about is part of this early signals of fraud in banking sector. Please finish this as well. One of the best things, and believe me, all of you chartered accountants, if you could run this course for your students, for your CAs, for your employees in offices, they will have a fantastic approach towards auditing also. But since this can be only viewed by members, you will have to log in, and believe me, thanks to the lockdown, I have been privileged enough to go and present across the country, and wherever I've gone, I've requested the branch or the managing committee members to keep this and run this program for their Vikasa students, for offices and all of this. I would request all of you also to do this for your offices. You'll have a fantastic insight and a training, inbuilt training for your students. I can see comment by Shardul Bhai. Shardul Bhai is here. Thank you, Shardul Bhai, for appreciating. Really, it's an honor to have you on this training session also. So these are some of the case studies. Each case study I can delve and talk about for almost 20-25 minutes. But believe me, one of the fraud of the century, if I were to tell you, is this Cosmos Bank fraud. Not by the amount, not by the figure, or not by the way, but by the modus operandi by which it was done. Excellent brains have been used from the North Korean gang. It's a famous, you'll see a lot of newspaper articles and all of this, but I'm saying this fraud was done in a very intelligent manner. And that shows how, I've already given you an example of Facebook fraud. I've given you an example of so many other case studies, but this is one that an organization can be impacted very strongly. This Cosmos Bank fraud, it's a PDF which is available online. I'm not taking much, but you can do this. Email frauds are very, very, very much on the rise. Friends, start focusing on emails that you receive are from which domain. So assuming Parag Javeri sir is here. Parag Javeri sir has his firm, say Parag and Company. So he uses pjco.com. If his domain ID is pjco, if someone uses pjca, so parag@pjca.com, it is available. Pjca can be available outright. Instead of .com, it could be .co, .in. It could be anything. It could be anything that that resembles pjcoca, whatever. And if he sends an email, and if he is one of the one who's about to receive funds from you, and if he writes to you and tells you that look, my banking details have changed from whatever erstwhile that you had. This is the now banking detail. Don't worry, Parag bhai, I'm not going to do that. I'm just taking taking an example. But if someone writes to you saying that parag@pjca.com has written a mail to you saying that, look, boss, my banking details changed. Please add this banking detail and send me. A good bill of around 1 crore rupees is now gone to another bank account fraudulently. KYC and all of this can be forged, and immediately if the cooperative bank or any other bank, I can open up a bank account with the name of Parag Javeri or PJCA, whatever XYZ and Co as a proprietor. That fund is gone. That is the ONGC fraud, 297 crores fraud that happened. Believe me, income tax se aapko refund ke notices, all of this deceptive emails that come. Be very observant, be very vigilant in terms of which email are you replying to. Don't be in a haste to reply or write to. So these are some balance sheet analysis that I had, some modus operandi. So these are things that I can share with you and I can do. This is one of the classic case studies that we had. But these would take some more time, say around 10-15 minutes. I'm just quickly rushing through, and I can tell you this is one of the terrorism funds that we had acquired. This is a case of that. This wife, this Mrs. N, she was a family from Pakistan and one more country. Of course, I cannot name that and all that. I can share this, and you will get to know. You can read it out, and you will understand a lot of this. This is something important. key takeaways as an auditor or a forensic accountant investigator, you have to go beyond the confines of the definition. As I said, related party transactions, and substance over form. All this is something that we need to go beyond what we have read and we have understood. Unmasking. Nothing is free in this world. There are no free lunches. There are no free dinners in this world. Believe me, and that's true. You will find out so many of them. If at all there has been a chance of anything free or anything that has been distributed, you will you will see something. और एक चीज हमेशा ध्यान रखना है, दिया तले ही सबसे ज्यादा अंधेरा होता है. तो दिया है वो सब जगह रोशन करता है, बट उसके नीचे ही सबसे अंधेरा होता है और वहीं पर ही हम लोग देख नहीं पाते हैं. Everything is just beneath your things that you're looking at. It is just beneath that. All you need to do is dig down. Questioning purpose and legitimacy. As an auditor, you should start doing this very, very often. Going beyond the obvious. As an internal auditor, you may periodically consider special audits. Draft your scope in a manner that is befitting, that is enriching you as an auditor, as an investigator, rather than just a tick the box thing. Perhaps you will get a meaningful engagement. Perhaps you will have a sleep full of content and full of satisfaction and really value add. Engage with the staff. I don't know if at all you believe a lot of time. Plot your time as a chartered accountant. Plot your time and how much time do you put it in compliance and how much time do you put it in strategy or some advisory or some consultancy. Believe me, the more you are occupied into compliance, वो उलझ जाते हो आप, उलझते रह जाओगे, and then you will not be able to come out of it. Start leaving it. Loosen up is what I say. Start leaving things for some others to take in, and then free up your time so that you can do really constructive, really valuable things. Not that compliance is not valuable, but I'm saying it is not worth the time of your experience. You have to start doing something, learn something. If at all you don't get, learn something. But don't occupy yourself into this. Believe me, you will have a higher rate of satisfaction and a peace when you do maybe one drafting, one income tax submission, one not a combination of delay or not a next date hearing or something, but not a compilation of obsession.
Arpit ji, we can't hear you.
नहीं बैठे डाउन दे रहा है. जो
I think there is a problem with his internet. That's what I feel.
Yeah, some technical issue.
Yes, technical issue at. Let's see. I think he will rejoin.
Yes.
yes, we'll wait for him.
Hmm?
Members are requested to stay logged in, please.
Yes, please.
Hello. Hello. Sorry, Manishji.
Yeah.
I think some stuff has snapped here. Am I still there or
Yes,
not?
you are audible and we can listen to you. Please.
So, but I think it's the call of the nature that enough has been said. Time is enough that you have taken, and something has snapped. I think technology. We are all slaves of technology, also now to an extent. And I'm just trying to get into my system once again. But nevertheless, I think that is what I wanted to say. We have to ensure. Uh, the